in just okay, great. Guys, we are live now. I would like to thank you, all of you, for joining us. My name is Shaheryar. I am CEO of a consulting company called Leo Consulting, and today we are all together to discuss a very important topic, I think. And this is a topic which is now which carries more relevance with the ongoing, COVID and all these kind of crisis that is going along. So the topic is basically for the cure of demotivation, stress, and depression. These negative energies that we have through the power of positive thinking and self-awareness. So I would just very quickly, take a moment to introduce all of my esteemed guests. Mashallah, we have a great panel of global experts today with us, and I'm very thankful for that. Um, Today we have with us Miss Sayeeda Ashraf. Sayeeda is, a very well-known personality in the corporate world. She runs two different companies at the moment and also a charity. Then after Saida, we have Miss Asma. Asma is, I think, an organizational psychologist, if I'm not wrong, and she is now based in Pakistan, and she has been working with a lot of brands globally as well. Hi, Asma. Um, then we have Dana with us. Dana is joining us from Romania, and Dana has to travel for some reason. And Dana, I hope you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Actually,
Perfect.
I stopped the car in order to make sure that everybody can hear me and we don't have any problems.
Perfect, Dana. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I know you all are very busy, and
Thank
thank you
you.
again for joining us. And last but not least, we have Mr. Syed Mureed Abbas Bukhari, again, a very well known personality, in the digital world. Mashallah, he's a part of so many brands. I don't know which were to name, sir. But I think today he's joining us as the chairman of STD, the House of Training and Development organization that uh, provided us the platform for this. I am also playing a small part as the VP marketing there. So we are trying to promote this training platform now. So guys, without going too much into details, like I said, that this is a very important topic, and I would just like to take your views on what do you think about these negative energies that surround us, specifically with relevance to the COVID crisis that we are having. So I would first alphabetically like to go with Asma. Asma, if you can just quickly let us know what are your views on this.
Okay, thank you, Shahriyar. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Um, um Actually, Shahriyar, what the topic he has chosen is very current considering the pandemic. Everybody is demotivated because of the economic crunch, because of the slowdown of the businesses, and because of all the activities has just stopped. So maybe most of us may be feeling demotivated, most of us may be feeling stressed and anxious what's going to happen. So considering this specific topic, I would like to say that as Shahriyar just questioned, what are the negative things surrounds us. So negativity, I think every time we face so much negativity, but the thing is, the challenge what we have is to how to stay positive. So being positive, I would like to talk about the topic first: demotivation, anxiety, and stress. So it is very important to know what actually demotivation is. So in order to understand demotivation, we need to know first what is motivation. So motivation, I would like to tell you that it is it is like an action towards some motive of your life. So anyone who is listening to us must have some motive in the life, right? And achieving that motive, you may have gone through some stress, through some anxiety, through some depression. In order to understand that you have some motive in your life, then definitely you have some vision of your life, and that vision must be the I have written it down, must be this in your life, right? So So one has to have the purpose in your life to be motivated. And the other things like the stress, the anxiety, the depression, these are, part of life. But in order to understand it, we need to know what stress actually is. Stress is the negative interpretation of pressure, right? Every single person is facing pressure, regardless whatever responsibility he or she is facing. They have some kind of pressure on their nerves. The more the responsibility, the more the pressure. If you take the example of President of Pakistan, Imran Khan, definitely he is, managing the state, and he must have a lot of pressure. Now the question here is how he is managing the pressure. So if he is going to manage, or if anyone who is taking some responsibility must have pressure, and the dealing with the pressure, if it is negative, then definitely you are going to be under stress. And if you are managing the stress, interpreting the pressure positively, then you won't be in the stress and you will succeed in your life. And now we are going to talk about the next thing, which is anxiety. Anxiety, if we're going to define, it is the fear of unknown, right? The way we are just going through this uncertain period of COVID 19, this pandemic, every single moment we do not know what's gonna happen with us, what may gonna happen with our family. So this is the time where we are anxious. But we have found, being ashraful makhlukat, being the human beings, we have found out the solution that at least we need to be, in order to be safe, we need to take extra care of our safety, where by wearing masks, by, washing hands, and by keeping the distance with other humans, and do not go out of your home unnecessarily. So, Shiraz, this is very important. In order, we may have take the session further and further, and I will definitely share few important tips. What would be the best strategies to reduce stress, and what would be the best strategy to reduce anxiety, and how to become motivated. So, I'm not going to take much of your time.
Thank you, Asma, for that beautiful definition of anxiety and stress. Next, I would like to ask Dana your views on how would you define these negative energies, this concept of stress or demotivation or depression. Sometimes like when I'm feeling sad, I don't really know if it's like depression or is it like stress or or is it like just like a state of mind? How is it something that you would define it?
Okay, Shaheryar, thank you. Well, the idea is that, okay, Asma already gave you the definitions of everything and so on. I would like to talk more about two concepts, mental toughness and mental sensitivity. And mental toughness is about how actually you see the challenge, how you see and interpret the stress, and if you see it, as Asma said, in a positive way, I mean, if you see the opportunity or if you see actually the threat. So this is up to you. But in regards to mental toughness and mental sensitivity, there are four main areas, and I'm talking about control, I'm talking about challenge, commitment, and confidence. So basically, we have the four C's, and the way that we manage those four C's is the way that we basically affect our lives. And I would like as well to talk about positive psychology. Professor Martin Seligman talked about positive psychology, and he had actually an encountering with the CNN, and CNN asked him one question. Professor Seligman, how do you see psychology in those days? And they said, you have only one word. And he answered, uh, bad. Sorry, and he answered good. They asked him the same question second time, and they said, okay, you have two words right now. And he said, not good. And he had a third option to use only three words. And he said to the same question, not good enough. So basically, this is the situation today. We look at the psychology right now as being the answer. And indeed, what we can do is to work with us and develop positive behaviors. Because unfortunately, okay, we have, the bad and the good news. The bad news is that the majority of our characteristics are born and developed in the earlier childhood. And the good news is that during our life, we can develop our emotional intelligence, our social intelligence, and we can develop our life in order to be a pleasant, an engagement, and a meaningful life. As Asma say, we have to have the purpose, I mean the meaning. What is the reason we do some things? To find something that we like, to find something that it brings us fun and then brings us meaning to our life in order to last. So this is the idea, basically.
Shaheryar, we can't hear
Yeah,
you.
I'm sorry, my mic was on mute. I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Dana,
Yeah.
for telling us those beautiful concepts. We highly appreciate your insight on these topics. Let me very quickly go towards Miss Sayeeda, and let me have her view. Sayeeda, what do you have to say? What would you like to say in these?
Well, I think what Asma said and Diana said is absolutely very true. But what I would sort of like to do is to sort of take us back a few steps in terms of going down the route of actually understanding who we are and how do we respond to all of this. Now, it's really important in order to manage stress or any kind of anxiety. It's really important to understand how we respond to these things. So I would suggest, if you wanted to sort of discover how you are and how you can change yourself, even before going down the route of changing yourself, you really need to know now, today, that if a situation occurred, or how have you responded to the COVID virus in these last 3 months, and then identify how you could have done it better. Right. Or you could also go down the route and thinking, okay, well, I handled this really well. I could have handled it really worse, but now the responses, the way I've responded to this situation is actually quite good. How can I now go on to improving my response to these things? So for me, I think it's really important to take different situations, maybe 2, 3, 4 key situations that one has occurred in their life, and see how that in that moment in time, how you have responded to that situation. What was your stress level? What your responses were? What are the best responses to manage that situation? And then you go back and say, how could I have done this differently? How could I have managed this situation better? And even with COVID, we can now, because this is probably the most recent event that we've all globally encountered, and different people have managed this situation in different ways. And when I was sort of coming to understand that actually I'm going to be housebound for the next 3 months, and I was looking after my elderly mum, which meant I was in one of the high risk candidates for contracting and passing on. So we were in the high risk area. So I had to be really careful who I contacted with and how much exposure I had of the outside world. So the thought, I don't live with my children. So the thought of not seeing my children for the next 3 months was actually quite, daunting. So I had to mentally prepare myself and say, okay, this is going to be really challenging. How do I now respond to this? And how can I respond? And my daughter, who's a slightly bit gets anxious quite quickly, was actually started suffering from anxiety and thinking, Mama, how am I going to not see you for 3 months? And we then sat down and said, okay, how are we going to manage this, and what activities we can come online and do together in various different ways. We actually worked out a strategy in how to deal with that situation. And mashallah, 3 months down the road, we don't feel that we've missed out on anything. So I think it's really important to really analyze and understand, you're going to be faced with difficult situations, especially if you choose to go into business, or you're going to, once you expose yourself to the outside world, be assured you will be exposing yourself to situations that are way out of your control. The only thing you can control is your response to that and how you manage that. So it's really important to understand, how do I respond to these things that happen to me? How do I respond to challenges? How can I now first understand that, and then sort of work out how can you respond better? And I think that helps to manage stress and anxiety quite well. And that's how I sort of tend to manage it in my life.
That's really inspirational, Saida, and I really like the concept that you gave us, that a person should think that I cannot actually control the circumstances that are around me. I cannot control COVID. I cannot control if I don't have a job. I can't control all the problems that I have. But maybe I can control, my response to them. And I think this is a very important aspect. I would like now to ask Mr. Bukhari for his views. So what do you think about this topic?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I would like to thank everyone be here on SYDD platform. And everyone explained very well, to be honest, that because I'm not a psychologist, you can say that. I'm a normal, simple human being. Yeah, as per the point of view of the businessman and the business leader, I can give you my voice, the things that you can say that initially you know that's when it started in Fab. So everything was uncertain and unknown. What will be happen, and people were thinking that time. Once the even there was the last I attended as a keynote speaker on the SPEMA, and there was a guest from China, and she said that once the weather is summers will come, so things will be going down, and then everything will be on the normal. So now still we are on this, like in July, so we already passed out 4 months, and like 4 months is spanning in uncertainty, and like Sayeeda said, we can't control the external things, but we have the control on our external things, internal, you can say. So like how I behave, like in these pandemic, to be honest, like my two companies it has to shut down, but I resumed two companies, and then we took like decision to started a new company that you have seen on Facebook, that I started the agricultural and technology company. We signed a lot of MOUs. So this is the time, like I thought as a leader, what I will do. I sit down, or because people follow me. I'm the real real for the few people's, like for my students and startups, and mentor to them. So what is my response to this? So they will see, and all the business leaders, my friends and partners. So we thought, and we said, no, this is a time, it's like we have to create the behavior of emergency, the disaster recovery, the emergency recovery. So we have developed the consortium, we have developed the different consortium to even you can say, the low down the stress of the people, as well as, and like I have been on these 3 months and given like more than 100 sessions online, just to motivate the people, just to give them the real example, just to give them what exactly the business and exactly the SMEs and exactly the job seekers can do. And to be honest, the response was very tremendous, and some of the people, they applied the terminology, they applied the tricks and tips, and they started the new business, new ventures, and all these things. And this is the same thing, like we are humans, to be honest, and we are, what is a challenge for us is we are a social animal. So for the social animals, we are sitting at home, and it's to be stressed, and to be these all kind of a normal, if you're feeling, it's a normal, because, but if you totally fall into that, it's not normal. That then again you become a mentally problems in the health sectors and all these kind of things. And because the psychologists here, they explain very well, because the purpose and the passion, what is the purpose of you have and what passion you have, and how you can think out of the box. A lot of companies, a lot of, like, here in the business world, like, if there are some companies is shut down, so some companies is now creating the job, they're offering job. So there are industries where the people are investing as well as. So, like, adversity is the time when you can, I can say, the leaders born and their new companies or the solution based companies born. So we have to, like, wait for, this is our new normal, is like we have to wear the mask, we have to wash hand. This is our new normal, to be honest, and it will take time to be reveal that behavior earlier from the pre-COVID phase. But gradually things are now revealing back as per the business markets. I say, all of the international markets, all of the international stocks, all of the international, like from 10th July, you can say the aviation industry is now started to operate. So, but there are some SOPs we should have to follow. So, like, gradually, maybe it will take 6 more months to be on the wheel of where we lost in Jan 2020. But now even the country is behaving very well, and they come up with the solutions. And hopefully, because I knew they're working on the vaccination in Pakistan, is also working on a few things that will be revealed, like, maybe within a month. So it's our behavior, how we can, respond to that, and we should take the responsibility of SOPs and everything. So this is the things way direction towards other things. So this is, my 2 cents of, I can, add it to the value.
Thank you, Maritza, for the insights. I think I completely understand your point of view, specifically when it comes to business community. That it is, I think we are in a situation where it's like it is what it is, and it now matters on how we respond to it. And I think this is what actually Saida said as well, that we cannot actually control our circumstances. So this is, I think, the first step to managing the stress and anxiety, that we have to kind of accept the situation. Acceptance is the first step, I would say. We have some comments as well, and we have some questions as well coming in from the audience, and I'm thankful for all those comments. Talha is asking us, how do you manage stress in a pandemic? So, Asma, would you like to share very quickly some pointers on this? How can we manage stress in pandemic?
Yeah, if you, yeah. Well, this is quite relevant according to our topic. Thank you, Talha, for joining us and asking question and taking interest. So this is why we, Mr. Shaheryar, have organized this program so that we would be able to share our insights, few good points to help you managing stress. So now the first thing I'm going to talk, there are so many ways how you can manage stress if you are really willing to. So the core, the most important thing is, uh, you need to see that are you willing to manage stress or not, or you are just asking how to manage it, cannot be managed. So the I would like to answer your question by saying that
I think we lost Asma probably due to some connection issues. Um, Asma, we can't actually hear you. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I
Uh,
think Asma will be joining us again. She dropped out for some reason. Um, Dana, would you like to continue this discussion and answer the question of how to manage stress in pandemic?
Yes, thank you. So I would like to add something, and this is very important. Everything is very contextual. So basically, if we, even though we prepare for some situation, uh, this this is not the guarantee that we are prepared for a different situation. The idea is start with self development, self awareness. I mean, what I want to do with this is, what are my resources in order to manage this situation, this specific situation. So the idea is, first of all, to live in the present moment and to focus on the present moment. Okay, and to answer this question, what are my resources in order to manage this situation? Because whatever we do, we will not be prepared for anything. But the fact that we are aware about our resources and the fact that we want to stay positive and we want to see the opportunity, and we understand that even though there is a situation of crisis, there are pluses and minuses, there are positive points and negative points. This is the situation in business and in personal life, but it's up to us. And one way how you can manage stress will be to practice mindfulness, to develop and to understand how you can breathe, for example, the breath exercises, and as well to bring in your life positive emotions in order to try to experience the positive emotions, to do something that you like, to do something that you enjoy, to talk with somebody over the phone, to write something, to, I don't know, different activities that bring actually, positive emotions to your life. So this could be some actions that you can do in order to manage stress. But again, we need to continue with the self-development and to understand what are our resources in order to manage different situations, and in the same time, what are our behaviors. If we understand how we actually respond to stress, we will understand that we don't need to get into the stress. We know that we have the positive stress and the negative stress. Okay, the positive stress actually, it's something that is driving us to achieve the goals and to see the opportunities, and to get the challenge. And the negative stress is something that affects actually our life, our healthy, and so on. So again, continue to develop yourself, continue to understand more about yourself, to understand what are your resources, what you need to develop in order to be able to manage different situations. But I think that at the end, it's about the mindset. And the mindset is very important. So if you see the opportunity, definitely you will use in a positive way all your resources. And if you see only the threat and the negative part, definitely you will be anxious, and you will see the negative stress in your life.
Thank you, Dana. I think we have Asma back. Asma, can you hear us?
जी, जी, I can hear you, Shaheryar. I'm really sorry.
Great.
मैं Mr. Talha Fakhr का I would like to answer.
Please, yeah.
There is a theory by Stephen Covey, and he wrote a book by the name of Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And in that book, he categorically said that there are two circles in everybody's life. And these two circles are, one is circle of concern and the other one is circle of influence. So in this pandemic, we have to see, are we working on our circle of influence, or are we just stuck in the circle of concern? Where I would like to define that circle of concern are those events in your life which you cannot control, which on which you have no control, like this pandemic. You have no control, and you have to live with it, and you have to find out the way how to live with it. Similarly, there could be many other examples in your life which you have no control. For example, if you are working in an organization and the policies and the rules and regulations are, you have no control on it, but there are things over which you can control. You can live with with your own self, and be considering and accepting everything, and you are not going to bother about the circle of concern. Whatever the policies, whatever the pandemic, whatever is going on, you have to stay positive. You have to keep your thinking positive. Your mindset should be positive. You have to keep your thinking positive.
Okay. I think we somehow lost Asma again. Maybe there are some issues in the connection, but nevertheless, we have more questions coming in. Another one of the question is, how can we prevent demotivation? And I would like to go now towards Miss Sayeeda. Sayeeda, could you please answer this question for us? How can we prevent demotivation?
So actually, in order to answer this question, I want to answer the one before. See, one of the
Please. Yeah.
one of the exercises that because the question was how do you control stress in this situation. So first of all, it's really important to understand why you're stressed. Okay, what is about this situation that's making you stress? And is that like I said, for myself, it was about not being able to see my family? Is it about not being able to go out? Are you scared that you will contract the virus? Are you scared that your family will contract the virus? And if they do, how are you going to treat them? Is it the money element of it that you're going to be worried about? So I think it's really important to identify which part of in order to manage stress, which part is giving you stress of the whole situation. Once you've broken that down and say, okay, these are the reasons why I'm stressed, then you can say, okay, now what can I do about it? What is the worst case scenario this will happen? And then you see, because the thing is, it's like solving any problem. You have to first identify the problem, understand why the problem has occurred, and then find a solution to this problem. So I think it's really important to first identify which areas in this pandemic about this situation is stressing you out, and then try and one by one identify how you can find solutions. And most of it is it's like Asma said before, it's the fear of the unknown. So once you've identified and thought through what those fears may be and why they're occurring, then maybe you'll be able to control the situation much better. And that goes on to answering the second question, is the demotivation, is that once you've identified these key areas, you will find by default, because you found a solution, by default you will be motivated because you have the answer now. You that fear of not knowing what can happen and identifying the possibilities of things that could go wrong, and then finding solutions for them, will automatically motivate you to say, okay, bring the challenge on, I'm ready to deal with it. And I think that the same strategy applies in business as well, in your daily in your daily situations of running your business or your life, is that once you've identified the problems that are causing you stress, then you can find the solutions to it and manage them and deal with them better.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is exactly, I think, what we were talking about earlier. And again, we have another comment from somebody named Mr. UKY. Dana, would you like to address this, because I think this is specifically for you? They are asking about what about depression. So could you please shed some light on this?
Okay, so guys, unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not a psychologist. I am an economist. So I finished management as my studies. This is my background, but I'm passionate about training and coaching, and I am a coach, and I'm certified in process communication model and neuro-linguistic programming as well. So I would like to add something, if you let me, Shaheryar, about the demotivation. I think the main issue here is that we always look at the outside in order to find the motivation. So basically, we focus on the exterior motivations from external, and we can't find our internal motivations. When you will find your internal motivation, you don't need anything else in order to be motivated, and it will be much harder to get demotivated. And now going back to Yuki, I hope that I pronounced it well. Uh, about the question, and what about depression? Well, depression is something more, let's say more serious, and I will not give anyone an advice about this, because, as I've said, I'm not a psychologist, and I would actually say that probably it's better to go to a psychologist and to talk to him about it if you feel that you are demotivated, if you feel that you don't have any purpose in life, if you feel that you have only negative emotions and so on, and it lasts. you know. But if you are talking only about feeling the stress, I already mentioned that you can experience positive emotions, you can get in touch with positive people, you can find some good and fun activities that makes you pleasure, and you can experience the mindfulness as well.
Right. Thank you, Dana. Another one of questions is, and I would like to now go to Mr. Bukhari for this. Sir, how to manage anxiety and loneliness? Mr. Arsalan Asghar is asking this. And this is, I think it's a very important question, and our youth, this is one of the main problems of our youth these days, So, sir, could you please shed some light on this?
Okay, basically again, Sayeeda very well explained, and Dana about the all these things. So first you have to crash down and slice down. So which area is really giving you the tension and depression. So anxiety is basically for the nowadays, for the new generation. It's like because they are going for the online classes, they are sitting at home, they are not to be honest, and this is very 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 good concern for them because they are not meeting with their peers, and everything is online. They are sitting like 3 to 4 hours online, and it's really the reflection is too frustrated, and the anxiety and depression that's this created. So here comes basically the role of like the stakeholders. So how they can like give them the comfort level, give them that area of interest where they have to interact, where they have to also giving the a little bit flavor of entertainment as well as, because if you have seen like any, I always said now even the education sector is also have to get learn from all these Netflix series and all how they can manage. They have put it everything into the one element. So like 1.5 hour or 2 hour, whatever the series is. So everyone is anxious about and seeing properly from from beginning to end. And regarding the loneliness, I really always said you have to speak up. If you have any problem, you have to take like advice from your peer, your elder, your brother, your sibling, your mother, your grand. But at least you have to talk about, because it's internally nowadays you have seen a lot of things on media, because uh, one star, now I have heard basically 2 stars, they have done like they have everything, but due to the loneliness and anxiety, they suicide. So this is very important. Even at home, you feel some your kids or your young generation feel because you can grab out it. So nowadays you have a time, you will sit with them, you talk with them, you involve them into the decisions as well as, because mostly these things comes because the parents take a decision on behalf of them. So this is not fair, because you are taking decision of their career and they are just imposing on them. So at least you just sit with them to talk to them what their likes, what their passions, what okay, let's we'll have watch movie together. Let's what have do whatever the religious set things together. Explain them and prepare them, not pampering them. I said prepare them, because problem is that once you can pamper them and when they come out to the society, so everywhere is this the rejection, you know, and once the rejection comes, so it totally reflects your 360-degree personality, because at home everyone is pampering you because they love you. But I said at least you can also give them the reality and optimistic view of the life as well as, because how the things are moving, how the societies are moving, how the rejections can manipulating. So you have to, out of your comfort zone, you have to challenge your comfort zone. So these are the different steps, and there are a lot of information available on the word. But this you have to start with your home. You have to sit with them even once a week, talk to them, and at least give them the comfort level they are not alone, because these are, if you can learn about nowadays. So anxiety and the loneliness, they are very small things. If you cannot fix and tune on time, So it will become the disasters, to be honest.
Absolutely, and Bukhari Sabah, this is something I agree with. Um, if you're feeling lonely, talk about it. Don't keep it all inside your heart. We see a lot of people, like Mr. Bukhari said, that a lot of people who are very successful in life, they are, actors, performers, CEOs even of companies, but they are deep inside. They are very lonely and they're very stressed and depressed, I would say. So I think the first step to, Dana also said that we are not actually professional psychologists here, but what we can provide you is advice, things that we actually practice ourselves. So one of the most important things, I think this is a very important factor that Mr. Bukhari said, that if you're feeling lonely, please don't keep it inside. Spend time with your loved ones, talk to them. And I'm sure other people would agree with me here. Asma, do we have you back? I'm sorry we couldn't hear you earlier. Could you like to finish your topic? Okay, I think we, we lost Asma again. I'm sorry, she's having a little bit of trouble with her connections. Bukhari sir, we also have some Urdu viewers here. Could you like maybe in 1 or 2 minutes just quickly for their ease, maybe just explain what we are talking about? So we don't want to exclude them. So we have like
Oh,
Mr.
okay,
Ismail Bhatti is asking us if we speak Urdu.
okay, okay. Here आप स्माइल, थैंक यू, आपने ज्वाइन किया हमें। हम जो ये टॉपिक पे जो बात कर रहे हैं, और टॉपिक पे हमारा एक डिप्रेशन, डिमोटिवेशन को किस तरीके से हमने जो है वो कंट्रोल करना है, क्योंकि जो चीज़ें अभी पेंडेमिक चल रही है तो ये हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है। जो एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स हैं, इकोनॉमी है, इकोसिस्टम है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी एक्सटर्नल जो हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं, लेकिन हमारे कंट्रोल में हमारी अपनी ज़ात, सेल्फ अवेयरनेस है। हम अपने आप को किस तरीके से रिफ्लेक्ट करवा सकते हैं, अपने आप को किस तरीके से हम बचा सकते हैं, अपनी किस तरह केयर कर सकते हैं, अपने आप को जो एंजाइटी है या डिप्रेशन है, इस तरह के जो डीमोटिवेशन फैक्टर्स हैं, तो हमें डेली बेसिस पे प्रैक्टिस करनी है, अपने कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर आना है। हमें अपने आप को एक नया रिफ्लेक्ट दे के कि हम किस तरीके से जो है हम अपने आप को अच्छे तरीके से इस पेंडेमिक से गुजार के हम आगे ले जा सकते हैं। अपने फैमिली का ख्याल रखना है, और मतलब मेन चीज़ है कि आजकल जैसे पाकिस्तान में बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें जो है ग्राफ सही नहीं है, तो हमें ख्याल रखना है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज ओन करनी है। सो दिस इज हाउ व्हाट हम जो है बात कर रहे हैं। तो एक एक लाइन में आई कैन एक्सप्लेन होपफुली इन उर्दू के जो आपको, ताकि यू विल गेट द आइडिया। एंड थैंक यू, यू जॉइन अस। And then Asma is again back here, because I know the problem with Asma, because in Lahore there's the raining and the weather, and I knew yesterday night I was there and I stuck here. So I do understand this.
Yeah, Asma, I think we have you back now. Are you with us?
It's such a bad habit, Shaheryar. There's
It's not a
something
problem.
every time happened. I
Please
don't
don't worry
know.
about
I just requested my husband. I borrowed his laptop. There's too much traffic, and some internet connection goes down. So, anyways, thanks for accepting.
it. No
anyways,
problem.
the thing is, I was listening to your conversation through my mobile, and it is so interesting that Sayeeda gave very good insights, shared very good things, and so as Mr. Abbas and Dana and Shaheryar, who has motivated all of us. So I would like to say, the purpose of this session is to help people how to manage loneliness, how to manage anxiety, how to manage stress. So, if I would like to answer these things, I would like to say, to every participant who is currently listening to us, that it is very, very important to do few important things to make these things part of your life. Number one, that start working on the laugh therapy. Okay, you have to laugh, you have to smile, you have to appreciate others. It will definitely release stress. Then as Mr. Abbas said, that you have to keep busy with your family, so do something innovative, do something, take some initiative with your family, and try to continue with the routines, as you get up early in the morning. So do some exercise. Exercise is really very healthy, or do some walk, or if not walk, then exercise really helps you releasing the stress. And the other thing is that in this COVID, try not to watch too much news on TV. That will otherwise, if you keep watching news, then you may think that I might be the victim of pandemic. And now releasing stress is one thing important. Start using transformational vocabulary.
And now you might be thinking, what is transformational vocabulary? Transformational vocabulary, it is the NLP tool, and I'm a certified trainer for NLP, that is Neuro Linguistic Programming. And transformational vocabulary works a lot. Whenever we say negative terms, I'm very anxious, I am too much tired. So start using the opposite of these words. People who are listening, that if you say that I am so tired, so I'm so exhausted, so you can say, using the transformational vocabulary, you can say I'm charged up, right? Rather than using these words. So you need to talk to yourself. As Saida very rightly said, self awareness. Try to find out what motivates you, what demotivates you, what stops you. And sometimes it happens that if somebody just passes by you and comment, you cannot do that. We immediately stops. We immediately slows down. We think that why the other person said that I cannot do that. So you take it as a challenge and you perform yourself. You just eliminate all kind of demotivation in your mind and body, and you start working on it. You want to perform rather better. So the demotivation, there is nothing like demotivation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made every human being, according to psychology, very, very motivated. The only important thing to understand, that some people are motivated to sleep, some people are motivated to be lazy, some people are motivated to stay idle. So the and it is important how you define yourself. If you are going to continue being lazy, being sleepy, sitting idle, this is the way you are going to define yourself. And that shows your identity. And on the other hand, if you really want to be motivated and you don't want to define yourself, and you want to portray others that I am a lazy guy, I don't know, want to work, then definitely you have to think of the other side of motivation, that is called self motivation.
Mm.
It is
And
very important to mention here, sorry, Saida, it is very important to mention you that there are millions and millions of good speakers in this world. So they come, they talk to you, they share their insights the way we are trying to share our insights. So they are very good speakers, but and people listen to them. People enjoy their conversations, inspirational talk as well. But the important thing, are you going to take the message along? And if you're going to take some message along, that only depends if you are self motivated. So similarly, if you really want to release your stress, if you really want to shed off your anxiety in your life, if you really want to enjoy the colors of the beauty of the nature of the life, the blessing of the family, the blessing of the parents, then you need to stay with them. Then you to laugh. Then you to enjoy. Then you need to smile and be thankful. Express your gratitude. Appreciate others. So there are so many millions of things which you can work on to stay happy, to stay positive, to stay stress free, and uh, you know. So this important thing is self motivation. If you are not motivated by yourself, no one in the world can come and motivate you.
yeah.
So you need to find out what motivates you. Yes, Saida, you want to ask something?
Sorry, I just wanted to add, Asma, to your point. There is when we talk about self motivation, it's really important to identify our self talk. You see, we have conversations with other people, and we can motivate other people. The question is what conversations are we having with ourselves on a daily basis, which is motivating and demotivating us? And I think the key question is here is self-respect. You have to identify yourself as a separate person to your thoughts, and you have to try and bridge that gap where you understand that don't say things to yourself what you wouldn't say to the next person. If you love somebody, you would never tell them that they are you would never be cruel to them, you would never say unkind things to them. And I think like that, you have to be kind to yourself and say, if even if you've had bad experiences or you've experienced failures, you have to say, you know what, it's fine. The key thing is I tried, and maybe this time I didn't succeed, but you know what, I'm going to identify what I did wrong this time, and next time I'm going to go for it and do it better. And it may be that I might not be successful the next time, so be prepared for that. But then I'm ready to have a go at it the third time. And it's like anything. Why is demotivation happening? Why are we feeling anxiety? It's all about, most of this is coming from self-talk. It's coming from, we are putting ourselves down and saying we're not worthy. What is our self-worth? And once you've identified who you are and what, that you deserve equal respect in this life as anyone around you, and you have the opportunities in the world just like anybody around you, you will be able to, you won't experience demotivation that much. You just won't, because you're not processing those thoughts. And it's about managing your daily thought. What are you thinking about? Because whatever you're thinking about is what is demotivating you. So then how do you think about something that doesn't demotivate you? So for me, I think it's really important for one to identify what conversations are we having with ourselves on a daily basis. What conversations are we having when we're experiencing setbacks? What conversations are we having with ourselves when we've encountered somebody who's put us down? I never try very hard, and this is very important in business, is I never try to take anything personally, because you know what? You don't know me personally. Unless the conversation, the criticism is coming from somebody who knows me really well, your criticism means nothing to me because you don't know me. So I think it's really important to identify what conversations you're having with yourself, and whether when somebody's criticizing you and demotivating you, is it about you or is it about them? And I think once you've identified those differences, you will not experience that much anxiety. You will not experience that much motivation, because you're not processing those thoughts. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, Saida, I would like to add one thing more, Sharyar. I talked about transformational vocabulary, and you talked about using the words, what kind of language and you use in daily life. That reflects the image of your mind, or the image you take your life. And other than that, in order to release stress, you need to. This is a very important tip for everyone who is part of this conversation and who is listening to us. That physiology has a lot to do with stress. If you just imagine yourself, if you keep on sitting in this posture or leaning yourself for hours and hours, definitely your energy level will go down. And if you get up and run, you just listen to the music and you just hop with the music and you smile to somebody, or you go and play with your kids or do some physical activity, your mood will be entirely changed. So the tip is that physiological change, change in your body, in your posture, really helps you releasing stress. And other than that, the meditation, in this era, we are not working on, we do not take proper breathing. Taking oxygen to your brain is very important, and we do not focus on it. We just take short breathing every time we do short breathing. So try to focus on your breathing as well, because I believe that if you are not going to breathe properly, the oxygen is not going to be taken properly, and you will not have a body which is disease free. You will not have you will not have a mind which is obsession free. You need to work on it. That take deep breathing exercises every morning. Sit only for 5 minutes for your own good health. Take deep breathing, take as much oxygen as possible, and do some change in your physiology. Use transformational, I'm just recapping it. Use transformational vocabulary. Try to focus what you are saying, what you are speaking. So try to speak positive things. And then you have to keep yourself motivated. Self talk is very important. And then morning exercise is very important. Then you need to appreciate others. So if you are going to work on these things, try to ultimately you need to identify yourself, who you are. Once you will be identified yourself and you will come to know what are the drivers that motivates you, then definitely all kind of stresses, all kind of anxiety, all kind of depression, nothing will remain in your life. So the most important thing to focus on what actually you are. What are the drivers that motivates you? It's like a propeller under the ship which changes the direction of the ship. Similarly, it's the driver of which is inside you. You just need to find it out, which is going to change the direction of your life and make you on the right path. Thank you, Sharia.
Yeah, Asma, thank you so much for that. I'm so sorry. I know the conversation is just heating up, and I love the passion that you guys have. And for me as a listener, it's very inspiring to see the passion which you guys have in your, in your voice, in your expressions. So just looking at you is motivating me, to be honest. You, Sayeeda, Dana, you are like very inspirational personalities. Of course, not to leave out Mr. Bukhari. But nevertheless, guys, unfortunately, since we have limited time, so we kind of have to shorten things up a little bit. um, Another thing, the thing that we can focus on, the thing that we can take away from this discussion is some points that were very important. For example, like Asma said, and also Saida said, that the positive self-talk, that's very important, because in our daily life, and I would like to say a little bit in Urdu, of course, for our Urdu viewers, that अपनी आम जिंदगी के अंदर हम दूसरे लोगों से बात कर रहे होते हैं, हम हमेशा दूसरे लोगों की सुन रहे होते हैं, अपनी सुना रहे होते हैं, बट हम कभी ये नहीं सोचते हैं कि हम अपने आप से क्या बात कर रहे हैं. What are we actually saying to ourselves? And this is a very interesting topic, I would say. Maybe इसके लिए हमें एक अगला सेशन करना पड़े. But I read a book a couple of years back, and उसका टॉपिक था what to say when you talk to yourself. तो
Exactly.
आपको खुद से क्या बात करनी है, जब आप अपने आप से बात करते हैं तो क्या बात करनी है. तो जैसे अस्मा ने हमें बहुत सारी एग्जांपल्स दी कि आप एक क्राइसिस के अंदर हैं, आप उसको कह सकते हैं कि यार मैं थका हुआ हूँ, मैं परेशान हूँ, देखो मैं कितना बेचारा हूँ. तो उसके द अदर वे इज टू से पॉजिटिव थिंग्स टू योरसेल्फ. And I think this is very important. Before joining the conversation, me and Saida were having a very good discussion. And Saida, would you quickly, in 1 minute, like to shed some light on it? That what does Saida do at home when she's actually stressed out? Saida, very quickly, because we don't have too much time left. I'm sorry.
My things, when I start to identify that I'm getting stressed, I either hit the gym or I will put on my earphones and for an hour I will just do dance in a room with myself, just physical exercise. And even if I can't do that, because now I have a little bit of an ankle issue, mobility issue, then just standing there with a whole lot of washing the dishes is very therapeutical, or ironing is very therapeutical. So I personally find just zoning out for an hour and putting on your favorite music and just zone out is the best way. And you just have to identify how you can do that. And especially when I keep saying to myself, and I say this in Urdu, especially जब मुझे feel होता है कि ओ मैं बिचारी, तो मैं बिचारी जाके इस्त्री करने लगती हूँ या बर्तन धोने लगती हूँ, and that just gets my mind going. And वो मैं बिचारी का face जो होता है वो बहुत जल्दी निकल जाता है, and then it's like, okay, कर लिया मैंने मैं बेचारी, अब क्या, अगला कदम क्या है, so
yeah. And
I
this is something very interesting, Saida, because ये जो phase है, this phase that we have of saying बेचारा मैं या बेचारी मैं, poor me, oh, poor me, I have so much of tension, I have so much of stress. The thing is that this is something which actually hurts. And जो लोग भी हमारे साथ हैं, बहुत सारे comments आ रहे हैं. थोड़ा सा मैं break लेना चाहूंगा इसमें. Dr. Uruj Riaz हमारे साथ हैं. Thank you, Uruj, for joining us. Uruj is saying, I'm a professor of medicine. Demotivation among medical students and staff has peaked during COVID and anxiety. If from your forum, we can have an app where people can talk and share concerns. Now, this is actually, we are building some kind of a positive feedback from the community, and I think this is a great idea. Bukhari sahab, आप इस पे कुछ कहना चाहेंगे जो idea Dr.
That's
Uruj ने दिया है?
our team will reach out to you, and first we will sit together and will pointers the points that where we can be able to a part of that, and we try to uplift, because I've been into like many ventures and I've been doing a lot of things. Instead of not only starting the business and starting the things, I'm also motivating my partners and my consortium people and everyone, because it's like Sayeeda and Asma and Dana very well explain about you have to change your posture because there is a I think 3 months back there is a my TV show is on stress management, and that is basically I explain how you can change your postures. If you're sitting, you have to walk. If you are walking, you have to run. The big thing is that you have to, because our brain is it's like distracting. So it's a very easy, you can distract your brain and mind situation. You just divert your means action and direction to some other place, so you will uh, forget it about what's happening like 2 3 seconds before. So it's easy to distract our mind, to be honest. So you have to distract, you have to basically engage with the positive and engage with the things that give you the energy. Like people said to me, we called you like 3 a.m in the morning, your voice is still young and still motivated, still loud. I said because it's been the things which I have developed in my routines. So because like I am working with like 5 companies, and I have uh, you can say the business model designing of 15 companies. So you can see the workload on me, but I never indulge myself on this thing. So I just take it as a normal. For me, it's a normal. It's a normal routine. So you have to busy yourself. Means you have to busy as much as into the positive and innovation things. I like a business. The Asma said on the vocabulary transformation. So I said, like for me, it's like a business transformation. How I can transform and innovate anything. So this is, you have to write down. Even you are in tension or anxiety or depression, you have to take the shower of cold water. So that's basically release your negative thoughts. You have to filter. You have to communicate the things. Normally, the nowadays the problem of the anxiety and depression is our electronic media. So you have to shut down. Like 4 to 5 months, I never seen any news. What happening in the world only except the business things. So because I know the business things is perceiving me for the good thing, so I have to perceive whatever I wanted. I write down and how I can perform on this. So it's not necessarily we have to sit down and drain our energy, drain our positivity and everything. So we have to work on these things on daily basis because again the use of vocabulary, use of words, use of thoughts, all these comes how you can perform. So it's truly said, the how your thoughts, how that's basically you are. So
Yeah.
it's good to be have the good conversation among you, and try to be positive. Try to be like, the business leaders lost a lot, but I have seen the business leaders reveal with the things. Okay, that's the normal thing, because the life phenomena is like our heartbeats, our oxygens. It's like simple on 1 second of this area. If it's static, it's means dead. So we have to be comfortable, we have to be flexible, and we have to be indulged in a way. We have to integrate it with these things because this is a normal thing to be like stress. It's a normal, but how we can react, because the resilience effect. If you can see, one of my friends lastly ever discussed, whenever we fall down, anyone we give the blame to the gravitational force. It's we fall down due to the gravity, but we said, oh, due to stone, due to this, and due to this, we have fallen down onto the floor. So because we accept the gravity things, we accept it. So we never blame to the gravitational force. So how this is things with the pandemic now for 5 months. Now it's habitual in our mind. We have to absorb. So now we have to move further. So
Yeah.
this is the
Yeah.
end thing and
Saryar,
word.
Saryar, Aruj is again and again, asking this question. Uh, so, if you allow me, can I answer her question?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Asma, please. Ruj is a very dear friend, and I'm so happy that she's with us. She's,
Sure.
mashallah, an expert consultant. Please answer her question.
MashaAllah. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Ruth, for joining us and for sharing your thoughts and asking us questions. Actually, I appreciate that you gave us an idea. Why not to create a kind of app where we can share our concerns? But Ruth, there might be some limitation. We might not share everything with everyone. So I would suggest that look for the people, like-minded people whom you want to sit with, whom you want to enjoy with, whom you feel that you are just like them, and you just spend time. So better to create your own personal group at a personal level. Otherwise, as Sharyar has organized this session, such kind of sessions are being held by so many trainers, so many consultants, so many speakers. So you can get as much as possible out of these. So this is all about it. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Asma. Uruj, definitely this is something we can talk about. I think it's a great idea. And having an app or having a platform, this is something which is, I think, which is the need of time. So maybe we can, take Asma and Saida and Dana again online and have Uruj as well and have brainstorm on this, how we can stop it. Thank you, Asma, for the encouragement. Guys, we have a lot of, I'm so happy to see that we have a lot of, questions coming up. And to be honest, I was not expecting such kind of a response, but unfortunately, we have limited time, and all of us are extremely busy, you more than me. So I would not want to expand this session too long. So very quickly, I'm first of all, sorry to all the guys जिनके questions हमारे पास आ रहे हैं, हम आपके questions नहीं answer कर पा रहे हैं, but due to the time, it's a little bit of a challenging. uh, Very quickly, guys, we are 5 minutes above the time, but I would like to take another 5 minutes very quickly. I would like to ask your closing comments just in 1 minute, very shortly. What is the takeaway? Please focus on what जो लोग हमारे साथ थे, people who were with us, what can they take away from this session? So very quickly in 1 minute, Saida, if you can start, please.
I will just go back to saying the whole concept of self-discovery. अपने आप को जाने, understand कि आप किस तरीके से situations को manage करते हैं. How do you respond to situations जो एक्सटर्नल इवेंट्स हो रहे हैं, उस पे आप किस तरीके से रिस्पॉन्स करते हैं और आप किस तरीके से बेहतर रिस्पॉन्स आने वाले वक्त में बेहतर रिस्पॉन्स कर सकते हैं. कौन सी चीजें पिछले वक्त में आपने गलत की थी और आने वाले वक्त में आप कौन सी चीजें बेहतर कर सकते हैं उस सिचुएशन को मैनेज करने के लिए. आई वुड आल्सो जस्ट टेक 30 seconds to answer that gentleman Uwais, who was saying, how do I find passion? Uwais, one of the things, passion is, you discover passion through doing many different things, right? You have to be prepared to go out there and do as many different things as you possibly can, and then be mindful that you very quickly say, okay, you know what, I don't like this, and then move on to the next activity. And through that process, you will find yourself as to who you are, and you will also find the things that you enjoy doing, and suddenly you will find yourself in a position where you will discover your passion. So I really did want you to answer that question for that young man there before I end. But
Thank you.
self-discovery is the key far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. Saida, Dana, your comments, please.
Okay, thank you, Sharia. So I would like to say that we are all different and we have different structure of personalities. Therefore, we experience different situations and stress and so on. So I would like to reinforce three things that you can do in your life in order to have a better life and to experience your life in a positive way. The first thing is to continue discover yourself and to continue learning about yourself. The second one is pay attention to what you feel and pay attention to your behaviors. And the second is experience gratitude, because this lasts and it brings a positive emotion into your life. And I would like to say that it's okay to feel fear. So this is one of the four main emotions that we express. So it's okay. Don't be worried about it, because we all feel fear in different situations. So the only thing is that to make sure that you understand where it comes from and to manage the situation and to use your resources. So I would like to thank you to all of you, and I'm so happy to be part of this excellent panel and to
Thank you.
share with you the information and experiences. And what I've mentioned to you, the mindfulness and the breathing and all this stuff, to pay attention to yourself, this is something that I have experienced, and this is something that actually for real improved my life. So I wish you good luck to all of you, and don't forget, continue to discover yourself.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you for those beautiful words. Asma, very quickly, last time with you.
Okay, I'm just going to give three insightful things. Number one, as Dana said, self-discovery is very important. You know, explore yourself and find out who you are. Journey of self-awareness. Start working on it. Number two, uh, number two, I'm going to talk about purpose, which is here it is. So that really, if you are going to look at it, remember that identify the purpose of your life. If you do not know the purpose of your life, you may feel so much stress, so much under pressure. And the third important, most important thing is gratitude. Start appreciating people who live with, who contact with, and lastly, express your gratitude to the one who has created you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asma. Bukhari sahab, sir, your comments, last comments
Uh,
before we end the topic.
my comments, I have the giveaway, a lot of giveaways in like, but Asma very well said the gratitude and the communication and the connection with your creator is very strong. So at least your thoughts will be filtered down. So this is like this time shall pass. So you have to be positive and be motivated and be inspired, because inspiration is your behavior which can more positive towards anything. So and thank you everyone on behalf of HYD as a chairman. I said to those watching us and like every guest here, thank you, Shaheryar, to manage this wonderful
Yeah.
It's a
panel,
pleasure. It's a pleasure, sir.
and I really thanks everyone here.
Thank you.
Yeah, a big
Thank you so
round of
much.
applause for everyone.
let,
Joining
let
me
me put
more.
you all.
Thank
Let me put you all
you.
on the screen. Great. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much. जो भी हमारे साथ थे, whoever was with us, thank you so much for your comments. It has been a great experience for me. Lastly, I would just like to quote the speech of Mr. Ratan Tata. He's one of the most accomplished businessmen, maybe in the whole world. रतन टाटा से किसी ने एक दफा पूछा कि उन्होंने कहा कि आप अपना सक्सेस का हमें फॉर्मूला दे दें, एंड आई विल से दिस इन उर्दू बिकॉज हमारे मोस्ट 90% व्यूअर्स उर्दू समझते हैं. तो उन्होंने उन्होंने कहा कि सक्सेस का फॉर्मूला ये है कि अपने आप को इंसान समझें,
बिल्कुल।
अपनी अपनी केयर करें, कभी भी अपने आप के साथ हार्श ना हो. इट्स ओके, वी आर नॉट मशीन्स, हम लोग रोबोट्स नहीं है. गिव योर सेल्फ अ ब्रेक. कॉलेज में एक दो क्लासेस बंक करें, पार्टी करें, रिलैक्स करें, अपने आप काम करें बट साथ रिलैक्स करें, एंजॉय करें. देखिए हमारे अंदर और मशीन्स के अंदर यही फर्क है. मशीन्स आर ऑलवेज 100% परफेक्शनिस्ट. वी आर इन ह्यूमंस, वी कैन नेवर बी परफेक्शनिस्ट. तो अपने ऊपर अपने आप के साथ एक नरम रवैया रखें. अगर आपसे कोई गलती होती है अपने आप को समझाएं. ये मत बोलें ओ शिट मैंने क्या कर दिया, आई एम सच अ डम्पस्टर. डोंट से दैट. Tell you, okay, yeah, this was an experience I learned, but I improved myself. So be gentle to yourself, like our esteemed speaker said. What you talk to yourself is very important. अपने आप से बात करें, अकेले बैठें, रिलैक्स करें, कहीं बाहर निकल जाएं. टॉक टू योरसेल्फ एंड टॉक गुड थॉट. कभी भी अपने आप को, जैसे सईदा ने कहा, कि बेचारा या बेचारी ना समझें. प्रॉब्लम्स हर किसी के साथ हैं लाइफ में, बट व्हाट मैटर्स इज हम अपने प्रॉब्लम्स को चेंज नहीं कर सकते. हम ये नहीं चेंज कर सकते कि हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम है या डिजीज है या हमारे हालात खराब हैं. बट हम जो चेंज कर सकते हैं वो हमारा एटीट्यूड है. हाँ, ये एटीट्यूड रखें, यार आज मैं गरीब हूँ या आज मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है, बट आई एम इम्प्रूविंग माई सेल्फ. कल इंशाल्लाह आई विल बी एट द टॉप ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. सो विद दिस नोट गाइज, अपने आप अपना ख्याल रखें, अपने इर्द गिर्द वालों का ख्याल रखें, और हमें ज्वाइन करते रहिए. इंशाल्लाह विल bring more of these inspirational talks to you. So we hope you can join us again as well. Thank you so much guys, and once again aap sabka bahut shukriya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharia.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye bye, everyone, all
Thank
the
you,
participants.
Sharyar.
Bye
Thank you.
everybody.
God bless
Thank
you
you.
all. Bye
Thank you.
Yeah,
bye.
thank you. Bye bye.